Come on, pull up here so I can actually get a number view for this.
I can tell you the number, 4.1 million views.
Yes, yes, it shot up, and I never meant for it to be that way. So, I mean, if you're wanting to go in and do animation, do it. Draw like you're sharing with your friends on the net, and you never know who's going to come across it. You never know that your video might sit. I have so many videos. I called it. They get snipe viewed. That you'll toss something out and you'll be like, oh, okay, it had a couple hundred views that day, and nothing. It'll sit for 6 months, and then boom, out of nowhere, people like, this is great, and they'll start watching it, and they'll start sharing it, and you're like, where did I get 60,000 views out of nowhere? Where did this come from? We went to Game Grumps Live last year, and we went and videotaped a lot of funny things. And we posted them up, and they got like maybe 1,000 views or a couple things like that. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. People liked it. I like throwing stuff up that I would want to watch, because not everyone gets a chance to go to these things. So I'm like, here's videos from it. And there's a clip where Dan talks about the weirdest thing he ever did when he was high. So we went to Anime Iowa, like literally like 9 months later, and my phone's blowing up because I have what's called, if you're ever on YouTube, get the app called YouTube Studio, because it helps you run like the analytics. It shows you how much traffic you get, what audience watches you. That also helps kind of determine and whatnot. And it starts going like, oh, you have like 10,000 views a day, and it went 70,000. I'm like, what happened? And it just kept going up because out of nowhere, some link from Game Grumps had shared it. So you never know that something you might post be like, say like he posts like a Jacksepticeye cosplay video of him just goofing around and doing like the best time of the morning to you or anything like that. And he's like, oh yeah, it's kind of funny, like a little 20-second clip he throws up there. And Jack fans find it and they start sharing it because they think it's awesome and it might blow up and get 1 million views. Or something might sit on there and never get any views. I know it sounds weird me saying this, there is no actual concrete formula to be on YouTube beyond how to do something stupid and get paid for it. Because there's a lot of stuff we've done that have gotten attention on this channel that has literally been us just being bored and stupid and having it on camera. I'm not saying that's the route that everyone should go. I mean, again, go with your hobby, but I know that someone over here was gonna raise her hand when he raised. Yes?
It wasn't me, but I just wanted to ask about this dog. What is it?
Okay, that's Chica. It's just kind of a running joke. For a couple of years, I've been dressing up as Markiplier. That's one of my favorite cosplays to do. He's the guy that inspired me to get into it. And that's the whole thing is you should do it as an inspiration for others. And it was a running joke because for years I've dressed up as Mark, and the girlfriend's just like, well, you should have, he has got a golden retriever in real life. Says you should have a golden retriever plush. So we looked on Amazon, and this was the first thing that came up, and it's like $40. It's a really cool stuffed animal. It's really nice to sleep with at a con because it's a nice fluffy pillow. And 4 months later, Mark actually posted a video with the same stuffed animal. And my friend messaged me and he's like, oh, you gotta look online. I'm like, why? And he goes, Mark has your Chica. And I'm like, that son of a bitch. It's been a running joke because, as I said, be very careful how you approach this, as I'm gonna say very professionally. If you have a role model, be very polite of how you meet them in real life. I've met a lot of these, I've met Jacksepticeye, I have met Markiplier, I've met Lord Minion, Mice-Germ, Completionist, a bunch of them. But you have to be very, they're people just like us too. You don't want to crowd, you don't want to rush them. I know a lot of people get emotional, but he knows that I dress up as him, and it's kind of been a running joke over the couple of years. We met him at PopCon. If any one of you has YouTubers you want to meet, PopCon is pretty much our Midwest PAX. So if you get a chance, go to it. I've learned so much with chatting with them. Completionist, Gaijin Goomba, a bunch of the other ones there. I mean, they're the ones who sit and tell you what software works, what games are best, what kind of like, oh, this is a good computer for this, or this is good camera. They're the ones that got me onto using like a mirrorless style camera. Because like DSLR and a mirrorless, DSLRs are nice and they're great cameras to use, but they're also bigger and bulkier and are more susceptible to break if you drop them because you will knock the mirrors out of place. They're very expensive to replace. Don't get me wrong, I had a Nikon D3200 for a while. Really great cameras. You've got, what's that, is that a Canon?
It's a Rebel.
Okay.
Canon Rebel.
Canons are good too, but I'm gonna tell you, they're very expensive to go through. If you wanna do like a nice fun camera to do like skateboard stunts or Nerf, or I watched this guy from Sweden that does like airsoft fights where he's got a GoPro on his rifle and he'll go around and play it. Really cool, because he'll show you the GoPro he's got on his head, little videotape everything he shoots, and then he'll show you the camera aimed at him as he goes through. And it's just different. You're like, I never thought of that. That would be really cool. More questions. That's what we're here for. Yes, sir.
Would you recommend doing some webcam or edit software you recommend besides the
Definitely get, I'm not going to say any particular brand, but definitely get something webcam-wise recorded in about 1080p. They're much more cheap and affordable now. You can get a good one for 80 bucks. Software-wise, Adobe, I would get, oh crap, there was one that one of my friends sent me that, I'll see if I can find it. I don't have it installed yet. It's DaVinci Resolve.
Oh.
If you do the DaVinci Resolve free edition, it has a lot of options that are really good to go through, and you can get like the full version. A lot of this really depends on how much you want to spend. You can go out and get like the best webcam out there and drop $200 or $300. Like for example, I use, I know it's kind of a running joke right now, but it's still a good mic as is. I use a Blue Yeti microphone, and I'm trying to save up for a nicer microphone at the $300 range. But Yetis aren't bad starter mics. What's that? I'm sorry.
Oh no, the Blue Yeti is the $100 version.
Yeah, I got mine back.
The multi-cathode.
But now they're getting more cycled out because more people at GameStop are trying to do the whole thing. I can't remember. I've got it marked down on a piece of paper at home, the newer mic I'm trying to go for. If you're going for like good audio quality, even if you're not wanting to spend within that range or anything, I would suggest getting like a mic that has a simple, cheap pop cover, because you would be surprised at going through how much your spit or how you talk messes with recordings. Now, if you want to do like webcam again, you can do, I've seen people do like webcams with like actual digital cameras, but that resolves on how long that can record at that time. And then you have to do what's called, if you're recording a mic, you have to match your audio with your video on there. Really, I'd suggest at least getting like a 1080p webcam to go for. Software, research blogs are the best things to do on that. At this point right now, I'm happy with Wondershare with what I got. Eventually, I'll probably have to upgrade to Adobe, but there's probably other things you can go for. So hopefully that answered the best that I can on that. So any more questions, anyone? Or I can show a couple video examples of stuff, whatnot. We'll go ahead and pull that up. Oh yes, actually I'm going to show you right here. If you're going to go through and edit a lot of stuff, if you ever need to go back to personal reference, you need to file everything. Because you would be surprised, like, oh hey, I want to reference the, oh crap, what file did I put that thing in there? So a lot of the stuff I have is in reference to like how I have it and whatnot. And you'll go through, and there might be sometimes like a whole week I'll go through and record a bunch of stuff. Or I might videotape stuff at a con, or interview people. Like we did a thing with Jessie Flowers here, since she's tough. And we asked her, can she see why kids like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and have to sign the Cinnamon Toast Crunch box? And it's just, it's different stuff. But basically, make sure you're organized. Otherwise, you're going to lose yourself in confusion. Thank you for coming. But I'm going to show you a video example showing over the difference between starting out with just basic gear to practicing and refining and building the craft. So, documents. Actually, who in here likes Ruby?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I have a video I'm going to show you guys.
Oh,
no, it's not bad. It's not bad. I got to find it.
Please, not that video.
We're about to watch some horribly cringy videos.
No.
No. Someone of my friends mentioned I should go on Omegle with that just to see if I can confuse anyone. It worked a little bit.
Give
But
someone else's phone number when you do it.
yeah, no. Did anyone hear about when Mark actually handed out his actual phone number?
What?
Yeah.
All those
It broke
dick
his
pics.
phone. They
All
called it
those
so
dick
much it
pics.
actually broke his phone.
Seriously?
Here it is.
Hey guys, Brad-Duct, Tape-Hale here. Brad-Duct, Tape-Hale here. Playing some Final Fantasy 15. Night 2.
Sorry.
Five Nights at Freddy's 5. This is our location.
This is selection and a variety of all the stuff I've really just kind of done on the channel. I just go with randomness.
I'm curious what events would lead a person to want to spend their nights in a place like this.
Minimum wage.
Meeting guests at a con. You would be surprised how many people like watching videos like that. Any popcorn, actually. I actually had the opportunity to play Overwatch with some of the Overwatch voice actors. Just try everything. If you're not good at it, it makes for a good blooper video. Speed Brill, the mermaid tails. We did a live action Resident Evil 7 video.
Oh, you're not gonna show the rest of that video?
No laughter is necessary. This is the end. No.
That was the LS2.
Yeah. This game's pretty fun.
Live action golf with friends. That was fun to play. Until I realized I recorded everything backwards.
Looks like it works. Come on. I'll open the storage shed for you.
Finding out that I accidentally got killed by an NPC just because I was standing in his pathway. Yeah, I'm just standing there. I'm like, cool. I played this game hundreds of times. This was a test we did with my GoPro just to see what the time lapse would do.